Welcome back, everybody, to the Canadian Contenders League. This is my first time behind this desk, behind the Canadian Contenders League desk. I got the Canadian spirit running through me. I even got the Mirage long sleeve on. But I'll tell you who is a wonderful accompaniment to me here on the desk today. We got Jenna. Jenna, how are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely great today. You know, this is my first time casting for Canadian Contenders League as well, because I took a huge break from casting. I think I was going to cast at the beginning of this league, but I decided to take a little bit of a break over the summer, so I haven't been able to keep up with all the matches, but man, oh man, do we have a good one in store for you guys today. It's going to be Shinigami versus Northern Shield. This is a past match, so we're bringing out never-before-seen footage, never-before-seen VOD from Week 2 back all the way, and I'm excited for it. I'm pretty ready for it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing matchup. Granted, you know, like Jenna said, this is a VOD. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get a live match for y'all to watch today, but I'm still going to treat this like it's a live matchup. I'm still going to treat this like, you know, we got some fun ahead of us, and I think we will have some fun with our rosters. Shinigami will be fielding a bunch of the ex-CCL players, so it's going to be exciting to see them here today. We got Kenji, Cryptix, Cam, Teejing, and Twist. Meanwhile, on Northern Shield, I mean, everyone knows who Creepery is, but he's accompanied by a bunch of amazing teammates as well. We got Aggro, Dia, Raymond, and Mac accompanying Creepery to the battlefield.
Right you are. Those are some pretty loaded names. Like a baked potato level loaded. Man, these are pretty popular people that we're gonna be seeing today. But our first map, it's gonna be Cafe. We already see that. Cafe. It's going to be Shinigami's pick, so as usual, Northern Shield is going to be on defense. Definitely not out of the ordinary to be seeing this. We're going to be expecting some pretty standard bans, probably a Thatcher, you know, something maybe like another Hard Breacher. Oh, we're going to see Flores. Flores has been a pretty popular ban recently, I definitely have to say. He's come out to be almost like a mock Thatcher, and I mean, having the ability to destroy all of these gadgets whilst also being able to take people out of their hidey holes, and in Cafe, that can be extremely powerful.
Well, in addition to the mock Thatcher, we're also going to lose, well, the actual operator of Thatcher as well. So a lot of the utility from the defensive side, we're expecting that to stay up. We're expecting that to stay all well and good. Meanwhile, Shinigami, with their second ban, the first defensive ban, we are going to see Valkyrie taken off the board. Obviously, of operator just for the amount of information that you can get with those deployable cameras, those throwable cameras, I should say. She also brings Nitro Cell to the board, and if you can gun with the MPX, then more power to you. Mira will be taken down as well.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of this, I'd say these are pretty standard bans, like I'd been gunning for towards the beginning of this phase. Valkyrie, for sure, is a really good ban, like you had said, right? The ability to bring that information to your team is such a powerful ability, right? I mean, knowledge is power, and having that power on your team, it's just too, well, I'm going to say it again, powerful to not be taken out of the match. So, I mean, hey, Valkyrie, there you go, off the board just as well. Mira, as you had said, Thatcher, and Flores to shape up our bans. But Yana, I see that pick for Yana. I really like that because Yana can be used in a lot of different ways. Mostly for intel is what she gets used for. She could be used as an entry. She could have her grenades. So there's just really a lot of ways that you can play her, and especially on Cafe, it kind of doesn't limit your options as to what you can do. But I gotta ask you, what do you think Yana will be used for, especially on top floor defense?
I think the biggest point with Yana is to try and keep her alive as much as possible, just knowing how much actionable intel you can bring on with her. Obviously, you can peek behind the sort of hologram that she brings to the field as well. So I think Yana is the most powerful tool. That's up there with keeping Twist alive on that hard breach, because obviously once Twist is able to get, I'm pretty sure he's going to go for that piano wall. Once he's able to get that open, there really isn't much else he has to do, and he turns into a very good gun at that point with the AK-12. Now, I noticed Kenji in the 6-pick phase, he switched from a sledge to a buck, and obviously you lose the grenades from sledge, but maybe there's a little bit of, a little bit of comfort being brought from Buck as well. Meanwhile, from Northern Shield, we're seeing a pretty standard lineup. We got the Goyo on the board, and he's probably going to be trying to hold down Piano. But into the action phase we go, and T-Jing has already made his way down to white. We have an early gunfight coming out here pretty soon.
We do. It looks like it's going to be coming right up on those freezer stairs. It's going to be a drone coming on in for the entry player of T-Jing. Gets, unfortunately, impacted by their own bomb, by that stun, but isn't really able to do much afterwards, kind of just sitting there, getting unstunned, shall we call it. But there's going to be keeping a heavy eye on those stairs for sure. Definitely good to be doing that, especially early round, but you're going to want to know when to make those rotations out. Because aggro, we're going to pick up one. Are we going to be able to pick up another? Yes and no. It's going to be a quick double kill. Nice refrags for Twist to pick those two off. Very good help for your team. And making sure that you're not getting killed in the process, that's absolutely huge, especially being that ace with the AK-12, as you had previously said.
You've got to wonder, has the damage already been done, though? Obviously, you lose a lot of soft destruction, but I got to say, soft destruction not necessarily the most valuable thing on this top floor bomb site. You need to keep Twist alive, though, and he is starting to accomplish what I said, and he's going to be trying to take into Piano here, but they do have the material necessary to try and counteract this Piano push, what with that Goyo shield sitting inside of Pixel and the peak holes potentially coming out from the bathroom as well. But Twist taking a little bit of damage initially, will eventually get... Oh, actually, that's Cryptic's there to catch the frag onto Dia. And Mac and Creepery, well, it's up to you, my friends. Creepery has been nasty on that Maestro, though, and with a minute remaining, they can definitely pull this off. They have the operators to do so.
They do indeed. In this mid-round efficiency, that layer of frags, that layer of being able to move right on in and get done what you want to get done, that is a beautiful thing that Shinigami has been doing so far. And there you go. It's going to be shaped up very quickly. Quick 1-2, opening up those walls, forcing the Maestro out of the spot that he had been in, and a very nice frag through the rotate hole. But, I mean, overall, I think Shinigami in that round really did and made out what their aim was, right? I mean, you got really good kills at the beginning of the round, even if you did lose 2 players in advance, but you were able to make those refrags. Twist really coming in as that MVP player of the round, being able to get the refrags necessary to avenge their fallen teammates, and then coming back, being able to survive the rest of the round with that AK-12, utilizing their ability, those Selma charges, and assisting another frag in the process of it, right? That rotate hole kill from the Yana, I believe, was able to get the final shot on the Maestro. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that as Twist. You have to be commending him for the not only ability to get the kills, but ability to just stay alive in general. I mean, going above and beyond with the AK-12 is just, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
I completely agree. He did put himself a little bit at risk when he was trying to fire in through that rappel. He could have potentially gotten taken out by one of those roamers, but nonetheless, I mean, that roam clear was just oh so effective. Yes, you lose a little bit of entry, or a lot of entry bodies there. As a matter of fact, they did lose 2 bodies there, but I mean, Twist was just absolutely insane with that AK, as you were mentioning. Now, I mean, Northern Shield, it's really just going to come down to whether or not these roamers can stay alive and really play a factor in the late game execute, because we saw it in that last round. Mac and Creepery just didn't have enough firepower to really deal with the sort of strength that Shinigami brought to the board, and you need a way to make these Shinigami attackers uncomfortable, because they were able to get into the building with relative ease.
Right, I mean, I feel like if the positioning was a little bit better and Northern Shield didn't fall into the trap of Twist right at the beginning of the round, even after those frags, it could have been an extremely successful round. It was already a 3v5. Aggro could have backed up and would have been able to save their life and ultimately save the round, but unfortunately it just did not happen. Those kills came in really swift, and afterwards the efficiency, the momentum built up, and it became too hard for Northern Shield to defend therein. But again, hopefully, you know, early picks, early frags, aggressive demeanor is going to be everything against Shinigami.
I don't think Raymond is any the wiser to the fact that he got droned here, but aggro is in good position to try and get a refrag out if they try to push down these red stairs. But the bullet holes have been affected. Yes, bullet holes still exist when you shoot enough into a wall. Obviously, there's a little bit of soft destruction happening there. They're putting a lot of pressure onto Raymond here, but I'm not sure if the Zofia knows that aggro is in good position to get a reswing out. Dia, in the meantime, will fall to the sledge of Kenji, who switches from that buck from last round, and there's a lot of flexibility with this attack lineup. They do have 2 of the frag grenades as well, so it's going to be relatively easy to take out these members of Northern Shield. And really, most of the Northern Shield roam game has been sort of caught out in a position where they can't rotate back up the stairs. I think their only option here is to try and rotate back up white, but again, so much pressure being brought in from the Shinigami attack, and with 55 seconds remaining, I'm not sure what Northern Shield's going to be able to do, especially when Creepery gets absolutely destroyed by a frag grenade, finished off by Cryptics, and they're falling like flies here, Jenna.
They are falling like flies. Things are beginning to fall apart for the defense of Northern Shield. Rotations are going to be made, and it's a very quick descent into madness. Raymond picking up 1 with the C4 kill, but right back at it is going to be that G36. TJ goes down, unfortunately, to the headshot of aggro, but we're going to be seeing the diffuser going down. Lots and lots of frags coming out with a 1v1, but Twist coming in with a double kill. AK-12 once again showing their worth on the flank, on the back line of the defense, going in huge to pick up round 2 for Shinigami.
I mean, overall, again, it just came down to the fact that the bottom floor, or the second floor defenders of Northern Shield, were just pressured way too much into not being able to make an impact on the round. And by then, Shinigami began their execute with that frag grenade onto Creepery and all of the members of Northern Shield. Well, they weren't long to last after that. It seems like when Shinigami gets into these execute positions that they are very proficient. That may come with the experience of playing in Canadian Challenger League. Now, I mean, Northern Shield, they have the gunners necessary, and we saw the impact that aggro could have had in that late round there. It's really just coming down to whether or not these roamers are able to escape from their positions and make an impact later on in the round. You gotta take some of the pressure off of these of the anchors being Creepery and Mac from the last couple of rounds. But down to the kitchen defense they go, and they're gonna have to start changing things really soon here if they want to stand a chance against the Shinigami team.
Right, and I mean, on that roam game, sometimes you have to play for the retake, Sometimes you have to understand that early moves have to be made in order for you to retain your life and come back even stronger. Right. A 5v3 is better than a 1v1. It's just simple math. It's just simple statistics that you really need to think about, and I feel like Northern Shield in these situations aren't thinking ahead. They're kind of just going for, all right, what do we think is the best roam scenario to get these picks, to find, the best positioning on Shinigami, but they're thinking in the now. They have to really think in the late round when they can get those flanks off. But, I mean, even speaking about the flanks, you saw last round, they weren't really applicable because you had the Nomad on those stairs, you had the air jabs going off, and there wasn't really much that Northern Shield could do in terms of rotations. They were not powerful in that sense. So what do? You have to reset. You have to try to make a flank possible. You have to get back to the objective and try to do what you can. But speaking of doing what you can, Twist picking up the first frag of the round. Huge opening frag. That's going to be on Raymond, the Vigil, going down. That's a roamer for you. And it's already a 4-on-5. 2 minutes left in the round.
I mean, this is a basic take coming out from Shinigami. If you're playing Cafe at any competitive level, you need to make your way to the top floor and clear your way all the way down. That is the sort of most common strategy that comes in whenever you're playing Cafe, unless you're going for some sort of rush strat. And, Shinigami is being really effective with their time. They've made their way already down to that second floor. Aggro seems like the only person that has anything to say about it, and, well, it was a very silent statement, as he will eventually be felled. And Mac actually in perfect position to get a refrag, but Twist, what are you doing with that AK-12? well, what are you doing, Mac, as well? Missing those shots, and all of the rest of the members of Northern Shield are falling as well. It's going to be down to Creepery in a 1v5. He's already getting pinched, and he knows that some soft destruction from above is happening as well. He's just trying to catch Cryptics in the reload, and he will, but Twist is continuing that reign of terror. He will pick up that final kill, and Shinigami, well, they're looking indomitable right now.
Wow. You would be correct. And this is kind of weird to think about because Northern Shield, I mean, we know Northern Shield to be quite a good team, right? And I mean, even if this is not their map pick, even if it's not their strong map, you have to give it to Shinigami. They are showing up. They are doing so much. And I really think that Northern Shield could be doing more. They're on defense right now. And as we know, this is a defense-sided game. This is a relatively defense-sided map. You know, up for discussion, arguable, but regardless, I think that speaks volumes truly about Shinigami's readiness and composure, especially on the attack, right? They are prepared to do what they must in order to get the round win. And I think one of the biggest highlights of their attacks have been that mid-round efficiency, which is something for teams to get extremely hard to balance, I should say. That is a really hard thing to balance because you have to understand what moves to make and when, and it can be really easy to stall yourself. So understanding when to stall, when to not stall is just huge for Shinigami. So, I mean, they're just doing amazing. They're doing amazing.
I completely agree. Yeah, and you mentioned, stalling versus not stalling. Well, it's all down to the pace that you're able to establish in the match, and Shinigami are making all of the pacing decisions here. Northern Shield are really playing off of their back foot 99% of the time, and, Mac, in that last round, yes, it was a very unfortunate miss, but it has to be said, that's kind of the trend that has been happening throughout the course of this matchup, and we're already seeing a quick take being brought in through the bakery side. This wall has actually been left off, which is a very interesting sort of approach to this bomb site, but Northern Shield have been playing a lot of the time without really some information. We're seeing it from Dio right now. It seems like they're trying to, get some phase checks going on, and with a quick take such as this, Shinigami is really leaving Northern Shield in the dark and forcing them to take these, quick gunfights, and they're only 2 minutes into the round, and they're already being very oppressive, even though Cryptics will eventually be down, but not out. T-Jing will eventually find Dia, though, trying to collect on that kill, and unfortunately it will not happen for him, and 2 minutes remain. Shinigami, man up.
They are a man up indeed, and you're right. Being able to take those long-range gunfights is going to be huge for Shinigami. Looking on into the objective, they definitely have the clear advantage here, especially with those assault rifles. But speaking of assault rifles, there's going to be one down. We see Twist unfortunately dying. Man going 8-1 now. First death in 4 straight rounds. He's almost an unstoppable force. He will stop this round, but that's not going to stop the Shinigami attack. They're going to have to keep on pushing through. TJing, though, is going to be taking some heavy damage coming right through the coat check closet. That's going to be aggro dealing out that huge amount of damage. Raymond, though, picking up one off on Cam. Big headshot. Aggro is going to be down, though. Not quite sure from where. I'm thinking that it's Kenji, as now the attack is heading on into the objective. It's 2v4, though. Attack still looking strong. Composure being held. That's Kenji finding one. Mac going down. You see Kenji and Cryptic still left up on the board, but with little health. Kenji finds another. That's the headshot on Creepery. Kenji with a third triple kill. Aggro picks off one. That's Kenji, but Cryptic's finishing it off with the G36. Extremely intense situation, but in the end, it was the G36 that finished it off. Round up once again for Shinigami in Kitchen. Oh.
I'm at a loss for words. Northern Shield seemed to have that round in the bag, but just some better play being brought out from Kenji and Cryptics there to secure that, and I'm at an absolute loss for words. I mean, Northern Shield seemed to have, with that open wall defense that seemed it seemed questionable, but they definitely made it work. Aggro was an absolute demon inside of the coach check, as you were mentioning, but unfortunately it was just a little bit too little too late. And right now, it's coming down to these sort of openings, especially when you are trying to execute onto the site. And unfortunately for Northern Shield, they've not won one of them yet. And I think that's eventually going to start taking a mental toll on this Northern Shield side as well. I mean, as much as Siege is a first-person shooter, it is also completely like a game of chess. And when your confidence is being shot, as is Northern Shield's right now, you gotta question, whether or not they can stand up to the heat. And right now, Shinigami has they've certainly turned the burners on, and they're going to continue to pressure Northern Shield into, making these sort of decisions and forcing them into trying to become playmakers, I would have to say.
Well, we're going to be heading on to reading and dining, or should I say fireplace? It's interchangeable. It's interchangeable, but regardless, round 5, we're going to be seeing second floor being played out. Unfortunately, the stronger sites of kitchen and of top floor cocktail have not been won by Northern Shield. And once again, it definitely says a lot about Northern Shield's performance and about Shinigami's performance, more importantly, right? They've been able to dethrone the beast of Northern Shield on the arguably more powerful sites of top floor and of bottom floor. So kind of being on this wild card site definitely is going to throw off the balance of this game, I'd say, because we don't necessarily know what's going to happen with Shinigami or what's going to happen with Northern Shield. If Shinigami's going to try a rush, if they're going to try a full clear. Looks like so far, though, they're going for a full clear. Top floor is going to be their aim. They're trying to take that down and play for vertical control. Nothing too out of the ordinary so far.
They have made their way onto the second floor here, and Tijing will begin the sort of frag fest that comes out as aggro. Unfortunately caught out in that sort of gunfight. Creepery was taking some shots at Tijing to try and avenge his fallen teammate, but unfortunately he seems like he is getting pinched. Twist losing a little bit of vision because of that deployable, or because of the grenade launcher, excuse me. Meanwhile, Tijing will eventually find that kill. Raymond in perfect position to get the counter action onto Cam, though. And within a minute and 30 seconds, we're already getting a boatload of action, which includes Raymond being felled to about 1 shot's worth of HP. The frag grenade, unfortunately, not flying through and catching Mac out, but it's okay, because Twist will catch the headshot onto Dia. Oh man, Mac is taking a lot of pressure here from Kenji on the white stairs as well, and it's going to be a matter of time before, Shinigami start this execute again. With Raymond on such low HP and Mac eventually falling, well, unfortunately for them, I don't think this is a winnable situation, but Raymond's going to do his darndest and catch Twist there on a rotation, and that has been the main damage doer for Shinigami, but with Cryptics getting this bomb down, it's looking like even less and less likely here, Jenna.
You are right. It's going to be the player of Raymond trying to move on outside, picking off one, but does not find one. Instead, finds the barrel of Kenji moving down the freezer stairs. Kenji picking off the last bit of health from that Jaeger. Who is XPL?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They were Canadian. They were Canadian players
at the very least. Ryan did work for DZ. Oh, it seems to me that
he did.
Banter, a little bit.
I love some good banter in the chat. I hate when it gets excessive, but I'm loving this right now.
For sure. Good-hearted. Another.
Unlike the Northern Shield defense so far.
Yeah. For real.
I said that.
Tijing.
But back up to the bar they're going to go.
I wanted to talk about Tijing real quick. This guy has not been having the best time with those Zo stuns. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, he's kind of like, he stunned himself multiple times. It doesn't seem to matter, right?
He hasn't been having a good run of it, man. Gotta give it to him.
The gun's working.
Yeah, the gun's working for sure. Bullets are coming out of it. That's being able to shoot back, that's a skill of its own. I'll give it to him. But 4-4, 3 assists, really playing as a team player, gunning for it,
Right.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, he's kind of out here looking like a point guard, something that Chris Paul couldn't do for the Phoenix Suns, which I'm still in an immense amount of pain for. But Nonetheless, yeah, that hurts. But nonetheless, Northern Shield, they're sitting at an 0-5 deficit, and you're still waiting for the first kills coming out of Dia and Mac. I mean, so far they have been a non-factor here, but I am expecting them to maybe pick it up a little bit. I'm hoping that they don't end the match on donuts. That'd be a little something, but into the action phase we go. It's a top floor defense once again, and Shinigami have proven that they're able to overpower this Northern Shield defense time and time again.
You would be correct. you ended your point there really quickly, so my brain just turned off. I was
my
like,
bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, really good points, and then okay, it's my turn. I've got nothing to say. Well, we're gonna be seeing top floor. Definitely for sure. Got Kenji early round trying to take the advantage here, looking in on what the defense has to hold. They're gonna be looking at those shields, throwing in the flashbangs, potentially looking to take away the power of those shields. But the ADS is going to be there. So are the Wamais, but Shield's still going down in the freezer. The Wamai's going to catch that grenade, but it will not be ADS. So both Shields have officially gone down out of the 3 that the defense has. 1 regular, 2 Goyo. So still 1 shield up. It's going to be in the bathroom, but officially it has been taken down. Wamai trying that rotation, but it's not going to occur. Twist picking up another one right off the back foot of that. TJ picking up 2 for himself. Aggro trying to pull back with a double kill, but doesn't realize that Yana's going to come up on him quick and ready. Cryptix finding the last kill once again with the G36. Cryptix, man, knowing how to end off those rounds with a bang. Shinigami, they're gonna find a very swift transition into their defense rounds now. It's gonna be a match point scenario. Northern Shield backs against the wall for a 6-0 lead.
I mean, that makes the most dangerous animal right now, but unfortunately for Northern Shield, well, as dangerous as an animal as they can be, they're kind of looking like goldfish inside of a fish tank right now. I mean, for their defense, it's just been an absolute struggle fest. Granted, they are going onto this attacking side, but like you said, Jenna, 6-0 match point. You've got to be able to dig yourself be able to dig yourself out of this somehow. I have seen a 6-0 comeback to win 8-6, and that would be certainly something here. But yeah, Northern Shield, we're still waiting on the first sort of gunfight kills, you might say, for Dia and Mac. Meanwhile, I mean, Shinigami, I don't think anyone is negative outside of Cam, but Cam hasn't also been just kind of uninvolved in most of the engagements, if we're going to be completely honest here. But as a defensive player, well, you're going to be forced to be involved in some of these gunfights, and I'm sure that he's going to be able to lift up those fragging numbers real soon. Now, I mean, Shinigami, it's really just been a show of power, the show of experience. You can put together, it's a little bit easier to, put together a defense to say, hey, go cover this point, hey, go cover this point, but on the attacking side, they really showed this experience just playing together as a roster. That they look very coordinated throughout the course of that phase. Meanwhile, I mean, Northern Shield, I hope they have something to show us on this attacking side, because right now they're looking like a very weak side.
They looked very disorganized when they were on the defense, and those rotations from the roamers, they weren't well-timed. They were not well-timed at all, and I feel like that's really what put the nail in the coffin for Northern Shield on a lot of different rounds. They lost way too many people off the bat. They were not able to make those rotations. Thus, Shinigami came in with what their strength was, obviously the roam clear, able to pick off early frags and use that momentum to force a push into the site. Northern Shield couldn't defend against it on most rounds, and actually all rounds if we're talking about the scoreline itself, and they fell for it.
Shinigami here kind of just holding true throughout the map. They do have some bottom floor roamers, as we've seen from the Northern Shield defenses as well. It's just going to be a matter of, who's going to be able to do it more effectively. And a mid and 40 has been wasted here from this Northern Shield side, and unfortunately for aggro, he will get felled by Twist, but the refrag is there from Northern Shield, and that's something that hasn't necessarily been a trend in the previous rounds. Oh, but the Nitro Cell coming from below. Well, I was talking about Cam just kind of being in the being at the back line, so to speak. Well, you can still make an impact from the back line, as the Nitro Cell will ring true from the bottom floor, and it's going to force Northern Shield to give a little bit of attention that way. Creepery and Mac, I think it is, both of their positions have been exposed here in Creepery. Well, he's just hearing all of those beat boops go off over and over again, as he will eventually find the kill onto Cryptix. A very nice headshot there. He also finds Cam through that very small angle. Wow, this is a very surprising kill, but Teejing, he's just lurking down below. He could potentially just dial up another Nitro Cell and try to get that kill, but unfortunately will not ring true. And they know one of the players have been down. Kenji able to win one out, but eventually getting repeat there by Creepery, who goes for the triple on the round. He will eventually find Teejing as well. Northern Shield stave off defeat off the hands of, well, our very own Creepery, aka R6 Dig. That's who he is.
I got no words. That was
He did that. He did
disrespectful. That was disrespectful. Extremely disrespectful.
What do you mean, the pistols?
Yeah, you just put down that entire team with the pistol whip. I feel bad. I really feel bad. Shinigami, what happened? They looked really strong. They can't afford to do that. They can't afford to throw a few rounds. They can afford to throw 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 7 rounds. But I don't think they're going to quite do that.
That wouldn't be ideal.
I don't think it would be. If we're being honest, I don't know if it would be ideal.
Still at a loss for words there, my friend.
Yeah, it's been an eventful set of rounds for sure.
Yeah, welcome back to casting.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I do love those little moments though at the end of rounds, you know, just the level of confidence coming out, especially knowing that, you know, you're probably going to lose this map, right? It's 6-0 and you're still being lighthearted. You know, you at this point, you know it's probably not going to happen,
right,
and yet you're still doing the pistol whips. It's a beautiful thing to see. Either way, we're going to be going downstairs. It's going to be kitchen this time around, because the attack won out the first defense side of top floor, so Shinigami decides not to go back to top floor, unlike Northern Shield. They did a 2-time rotation for every single site. Unfortunately, they did not win a single round, but at least they got their attack round. You have Kenji, though, picking up an early kill off of the round. That is a lot of utility down for you very early, and a player of great kills, right? Raymond going down as well. Creepery doing the same thing. Nomad, huge player for that flank denial. So Shinigami being able to rule free with their space not being abided, or sorry, not being dealt with the air jabs.
Well, Northern Shield, unfortunately, they're going to have to do the rest of this take. Very lacking in terms of manpower. And if we're going to look at the scoreboard a little bit, they're lacking in frag power as well, as Dia and Max still yet to find their first kills, even through the chaos of that last round. Obviously, Creepery, well, he's decided that he wanted to do it himself. But with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining, unfortunately, it's looking a little bit tough for Northern Shield. They are going to have to deal with this 5-3 map, person deficit, man deficit, excuse me. English is hard, but I mean, Teejing is getting pressured here, but he does have proper tool to deal with this sort of pressure, as he will actually catch a Bonda with his back turn, but miss the shots. Mac will eventually find his first kill. Teejing, well, that was a little bit of a misplay with the shotgun, but you can kind of afford to throw that, man. Cryptix, meanwhile, here lurking inside of VIP, just waiting for the members of Northern Shield to just walk into his lines of sight. He is holding a very important position, though, and the round could potentially tilt on whether or not he's able to hold back these members of the attack.
Right, you are. So it's going to be full-on vertical control. At least that is the attempt that Dia is going for. Sledgehammer ruling in strong, looking to find the remaining players of Shinigami in the site. But Shinigami players are holding extremely strong. They know exactly what's going on for Northern Shield, that because that hatch has been open, execution is gonna start. We're gonna be seeing a double kill from Mac right off of the bat. That Yana G36 is absolutely powerful. Coming right on in for a heavy execute, but Kenji finds the head first. Matt going down, Dia is the remaining player left up on the board. L8's gonna have to truly come in strong, taking a little bit of damage there. Finding one though, it's not gonna be one, it's gonna be an own kill, but the defenders win the round anyways. Time ticked out, and that's gonna be a GH. So now we see a one map decifit for for Northern Shield.
I mean, it was a valiant effort there coming out from Dia. I'm pretty sure it was on that sledge, but unfortunately, I mean that L85, as good of a gun as it is, it simply did not get the job done there. In fact, Shinigami were kind of feeling you and said, "Hey, I'll get one of the kills for you." But I mean, overall, very good effort there from. Oh man, I feel so bad for saying that. I feel bad for everything that I've said. Man, you can yell at me later, teams, from this matchup, by the way. But I mean, Shinigami, it was a display of power pretty much throughout the whole game. And if it weren't for that crazy round by Creepery, we could have looked at a 7-0 there, Jenna.
We could have. We definitely could have. I would not have been surprised because Shinigami had such a powerful first half of the game. Their attacks were extremely strong. I mean, they did not waver whatsoever. That mid-round efficiency, gotta give it to them, and pulling together their executions, even when they have limited resources, limited players to do so, was extremely adept in understanding the play, understanding the game, what have you. Their experience as CL players really shines through in those types of moments when you need that level of experience to really understand what choices to make, when to make them, what positioning that you need to be in, etc., etc. So just gotta give it to Shinigami there. Northern Shield, they're gonna be going on to their map pick next. It's gonna be Villa, and we're going to be doing this in just a few moments. But before we head into that, do you have any closing comments for us on that last match of Cafe, Mr. Santos?
I mean, Northern Shield are just going to have to, they're going to have to bring the gunny next round, or next map, excuse me. There really is no other way to go about this. They were lacking in the frag department, and if it weren't for a very good round outside of Mac, they would have had 2 players dropping zeros, and that's just simply unacceptable, at this level of play. So I'm looking for a little bit more of a stronger fragging effort, a little bit better trading coming out from the Northern Shield side, but we will have all those questions answered and more once we return from our break. Don't go anywhere.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Canadian Contenders League. We saw the first map was Shinigami versus Northern Shield. We were on Cafe. It was a 7-1 for Shinigami, but now we ascend to our second map pick. It's going to be Northern Shield's map pick of Villa. So if you are fans of Northern Shield, you definitely have a little bit of a hope left for them. We are going to be going on to their pick, so they're definitely going to have something up their sleeve for this one if they want to win at least one of this best of two match.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think this is going to. I think the pacing of this map is potentially going to be very different from what we saw on Cafe. That Cafe Shinigami were playing with an absolutely explosive pace. They were basically forcing Northern Shield, to just absolutely gun them down and really saying, hey, peek me or else I'm going to peek you. But with a map like Villa, where there's just so much to drone for and so much to check, there's a lot of potential here for Northern Shield to really define the sort of pacing and really swing things back into their favor. Habana is going to be the first ban, and well, for most of the sites on Villa, Habana is oh so useful. Northern Shield, their attacking side is going to be hampered. Let's see what they're going to ban on their side.
Habana's pretty huge. Thatcher is huge as well, as we know, but in this day and age, in this current meta, teams are used to playing around Habana and Thatcher for the most part, especially on Villa. I'd say Thatcher definitely a lot more than Habana, but Habana is still such a powerful operator, and you have to expect that she is going to be taken out at one point. We got Valkyrie coming out, nothing too surprising going on here. Valkyrie was taken out in the Cafe match as well. Villa is no exception to this. Villa is actually probably a better map for Valkyrie than Cafe is. I mean, there's just so many nooks and crannies where you can hide those black eyes and get amazing information. And I put an emphasis on amazing because I have used Valkyrie myself, and that MPX, it does not lie. It's just pretty good.
It lies in my hands.
Well,
the heck?
Your hands are liars. So.
Well, you are famously known for being the only one in objective, so.
I am the only one in objective. I do happen to be the only one in objective, and, I'm what you call a team player. So Valkyrie's just been for me since day one, definitely. But Kaid's gonna be our last pick going off the board once again. All of these picks are extremely logical, right? Kaid coming from the sense of reinforced walls and hatches, stuff like that. We got Thatcher and Habana in the same vein, just on the attacking side, and Valkyrie on the side of information and having the upper hand as such. But first sight is gonna be a Yater Games. What do you want to see from Northern Shield, especially on this map pick? What do you think is just going to happen?
I mean, if Shinigami are going to play as aggressive as they did in that last map, where, they were going for very aggressive clears and getting pretty good results, I kind of want to see Northern Shield kind of bring the fight back to them, but I have a feeling with the mirror staying up, that could potentially be slowed down, especially during the execute, where, I mean, all of the information is going to be available to the Shinigami side. But Northern Shield can hold a little bit of solace in the fact that this is their map pick, and, as bad as last game went, it could certainly only go up from there. Now, into the attack phase we go, and it's looking like Northern Shield are going to go for a full top floor take and then establish the flank watch and move on their merry way to really deal with the rest of the map here. But already a quick engagement could be brought out here, as Twist is just lurking inside of the bathroom, could potentially deal with Raymond, but I think he's given away his position. He's going to have to eventually just make his way back out. He is playing very aggressively, though, inside of Astro, but unfortunately, well, he's not going to be able to find any kills as of yet. But, well, he will eventually get killed as Raymond with that M762, most certainly weaker after the most recent nerf, but still can definitely get the job done. And Northern Shield, they've won an opening pick.
They did win an opening pick, and with good time, right? I mean, they still have 2 minutes left on the board for them to do something mid-round here, so they definitely have a lot of time to work with, and they have a lot of utility still left up on the board, right? A lot of drones, they've got some good utility going on. Raymond still has both impacts and stuns. Tijing, though, is going to be picking off that Lion, so Lion Charges aren't going to be available anymore, and as well as that aggro goes down. Ace is going to be off that board, no more Selma Charges to be utilized, and unfortunately, that's Diffuser down as well. So Kenji putting a huge wrench into the attack, slowing down Northern Shield at every possible way. Dia, though, going to be picking off the player roaming. Finally, Kenji going down, which leaves Cam and Tijing remaining.
I mean, they have all the information to play off of as well, though. They do have those mirror windows just sitting inside of the site, and, well, Northern Shield have already showed their hand. They're going to go for this north side execute, and the question is, will it eventually work out, as Tijing is going to shoot out that drone inside of the vault and trying to prevent Northern Shield from really garnering any more information. And, well, they have information on Tijing. It's that he got the kill onto Dia, and, you know, Dia is asking a couple questions. I certainly have a question as to how that happened as well, but overall this hold from Shinigami is going pretty well so far, but Smoke is in perfect position once again to really deny this plant, and with 30 seconds remaining, that's eventually what he's going to have to do, but loses that gunfight out to Raymond. So Mac will begin to plant that diffuser, and the Nitro Cell is going to ring out, but unfortunately will only catch the down onto Mac, but Raymond decides that he has to spring into action, and unfortunately, well, spring into action he didn't do for too long, and unfortunately Shinigami, well, not unfortunately, fortunately for them, they will take our first round.
There were 2 turning points in that round. The first turning point of the round was the death of aggro. Gotta hand it to Kenji. Shaped the entire round, because now you can't throw any Selma Charges onto the vault wall. Now you can't get in from those reinforced walls. You can't open up absolutely anything, and it really limits your potential when moving into the objective, right? So automatically Shinigami is going to be up with that. Second turning point of the round, which was when Northern Shield already was getting the plant down, that C4 coming out from Cam, being able to prevent the plant from happening, and then coming back and getting the final kill on the round for Raymond. Absolutely huge. Amazing play from Cam to shape up that round. I mean, the clutch potential of the players of Shinigami is limitless. I have to give it to them, because not only was Kenji there to pick up the slack of Twist, who unfortunately died at the beginning of the round, but Cam was also there with a C4. Amazing placement, shutting down the plant entirely, making it a 1v1, and then getting the kill with the Vector against the Zoe at a relatively long range. So, really putting that into perspective, I mean, huge plays coming out for that first round. A well-deserved round for Shinigami.
Oh, 100%, but I think Northern Shield can definitely, you know, hold their heads high within that round, and, you know, if things go differently for Creepery, which unfortunately they're not, Tijing, what are you doing? Creepery goes down for the counts, and man, Northern Shield find themselves at a man disadvantage once again. But, I mean, to bring up the point from last round, the Northern Shield can hold their heads high. I mean, Dia and Mac are finally getting their kills, and at no better time as, you know, this Northern Shield side, yes, they struggled on Cafe, but they definitely shown that they can take the fight to Shinigami throughout that first round. But with Creepery falling again, that is Lion. And those EE1Ds, well, that's such a valuable tool, especially with how aggressive Shinigami have been playing so far. And, well, unfortunately for Northern Shield, well, they're not going to have those people stoppers at their disposal here in the rest of this round.
Got a little bit of a cheeky angle for the Smoke, Tijing, but Aggro and Mac, they're coming up from below, what it looks like. Coming in with the AK-12 and the G36 respectively. Aggro finding another kill. That's a double for you. Just as Kool-Aid Man comes marching right on into the bathroom. things are going down. Tijing is the remaining player left up on the board. L85 showing its worth. Raven taking heavy amounts of damage, but aggro finishes off that one with the AA12. Very nice plays, very good placement of your players, and getting those ones. One was huge for Northern Shield, right? I mean, aggro obviously coming in. When aggro doesn't die, I feel like the round goes extremely smooth for Northern Shield. It's just that when they lose one part of their foundation, they get beat down, because aggro is the most important player on the team, without a doubt, right? I mean, coming from a role perspective, not even coming from frags. Of course, aggro proved their worth in that round with frags as well, but I digress. Ace, absolutely amazing operator. When you were able to complete your objective, complete your goal, get into the objective itself, and form that execute, get the momentum without being barred of a player as important as Ace, you have the ability to make an amazing round happen. And Northern Shield, they're doing their best with that. They're taking an inch and going a mile with it. So you really have to give it to them, you know, their ability, even when they lose players, even when they're down one right off the bat, to come back with their most important player, get the kills needed, come in, make the execution happen, and shut down Shinigami.
Yeah, and we discussed the sort of experience that Shinigami brings to the table. Well, that's not to say that aggro doesn't either. He is certainly one of those T3 mainstays, and he's definitely proving so here on Northern Shield. Those were just veteran plays, knowing exactly where the final member of Shinigami had to rotate to, and eventually, you know, he definitely made an impact on that round there. And while we're waiting on a little bit of we're waiting on some impact here for Creepery, who is still yet to find his first kill, but you know, sitting in his streams, he's definitely made some improvements to his game, and Tijing in a very aggressive position once again will eventually find Raymond, kind of just expecting to run into the main entrance without much contention, and well, the contention was certainly right there. Now, I mean, Northern Shield were doing a very good job early on in the round, despite losing a member early, and I don't think that's going to change here. Northern Shield, again, taking a lot of map control, and they're doing a good job here so far, despite losing Raymond.
Right, and a little bit of statistics, this is officially the second round in a row that Northern Shield has lost their player first, and yet they're still coming back. It's already a 4v4. Tijing, unfortunately, going down in the same manner that he was able to kill Raymond. So I feel as though there is equally the amount of utility off of the board for each team. I mean, of course, Tijing was a roamer, so good roam clear for Northern Shield to do so, to find those players, get that headshot off. But here we go. It's going to be mid-round efficiency that we're looking at for the rest of this 120.
Bliss will eventually find the kill onto Dia, and, well, that's your sledge off the board. I'm sure he hasn't used his frag grenades as of yet, so it's going to be down to Mac to try and find those frag grenades kills, and, you know, with a little bit over a minute remaining in the round, I mean, you know, Northern Shield definitely doesn't have a lot of the control, but, well, they can build on the kills that they are getting, as Kenji will eventually be felled, and Twist is kind of lurking towards that bedroom side. He's trying to win he's going to try and win out these long gunfights, but up against the guns of Northern Shield, that's not necessarily a guarantee, and they seem like they're going to be going for this sort of trophy-sided push rather than trying to force their way into statue. But with Cam here, well, he's certainly going to have something to say about it, and he has a lot of utility to protect him as well, what with the Aruni gates, as well as everything else that he's kind of bringing to the table. And, well, I was completely wrong, and they're going to push into statue. Cryptics will be felled, and Twist kind of waiting for Creepery to cross into his line of sight, expecting something to come through the window, but eventually, well, aggro and Mac will find their way into the way of his barrel there, and Creepery will fall as well. Twist with a quad, and he's going to disable that diffuser, and Shinigami with a very good retake, but I've got to say the coverage was kind of lacking there from Northern Shield there, Jen.
It was. You know what? It definitely was. There wasn't a lot of how do I put it, immediate refrags. You know, like you said, there wasn't a lot of coverage. There wasn't a lot of swings right after kills and coming back to get the plays prevented. It was more of being reactive instead of proactive. You know, the plant was already down by the time that Twist was able to luckily get the kills. It didn't seem like the attack knew exactly where Twist was, which of course plays into the abilities of Twist. You know, having that amazing reaction time, coming in with the MP5K, truly a stunner, I would say. But regardless, I think that Twist could have done more in terms of rotating earlier and making a bigger impact before his teammates were felled. But of course, it still was an all-out good play, being able to prevent the diffuse from being completed. I just think that there's a little bit of cleaning up to do there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's my take on it.
I mean, getting a quad, you know, you get like, yes, you can get a quad and still have had a smarter play, but I do want to, you know, bring a little bit of attention. He did get the quad feed there. That was absolutely insane.
And hindsight 2020. Hindsight 2020.
Right, like I'm sure they'll go into the VOD and say, hey, you could have swung here and the round would have been even easier. You wouldn't have had to go get that quad feed, but it's still nice. I mean, you still absolutely love when that happens, but nonetheless, you know, back into the next action phase we go. They're going to be trying this kitchen bomb site now with both of those other sites being locked out, and this is usually the tertiary site for most teams. What the heck?
You didn't see? Oh, they're doing a rehost.
We're going for a rehost. All right. Well, I mean, I was kind of questioning to myself like whether or not they would do the rehost just because it looked like we were already like going into the action phase. But then I was like, wait, that's actually my head's in a spin right now. I'm not like I don't know, Jenna. I mean, really good play from Shinigami, but Northern Shield are definitely making some market improvements over that map one.
Oh, they definitely are. You can tell they're a lot more confident on this map than they are in Cafe. You know, Villa is their map pick, so obviously they're going to have a little bit more preparedness for it. They're going to be a lot more experienced on Villa than Cafe. But, you know, I feel like just in general, they seem a lot more relaxed, a lot more analytical. They aren't so, like, cooped up, you know, almost anxious, nervous with every play that they make. And especially being on attack, starting out on attack, it's hard on Villa. So Shinigami being up 2-1, not that bad, truly.
I mean, completely not so, right? It's like, you know, they've been doing a really good job so far. I mean, Northern Shield though, like they have been effective in their attack, and it looks like we're gonna do another rehost. But the funny thing is that we're actually watching this retroactively. Yes, we are still reacting as if it is a real cast, but funny thing is we can just forward ourselves into later on in the VOD, and we'll, you know, we don't have to throw it to a break like we normally would during a rehost. I get to talk to you still, Jenna. That's great. I mean, while we're waiting for the match to get back on, I mean, you know, how are you doing? Welcome back. How's the first cast going for you?
I like casting Cafe. I did, because even though it was a 7-1, it was still loaded. It was a good fun match to analyze. Yeah, I think that, you know, there was a good balance of it being competitive and having enough talking points to talk about, even though it was a 7-1. Usually, and I'll be honest here, usually as a caster, when it's a 7-1, it's not an interesting match at all. It's not a good match to go over and be like, you know, like, this is a very overwhelming victory. You know, but I feel like every round was different, and because of that, every single round was extremely fun to analyze, and Villa has been so far the same experience. Even 3 rounds in, it's been 2-1 for Shinigami, and I'm hoping for a nice match even after the rehost.
Well, I mean, second sort of rehost coming through here, even though technically, like I said, it's a VOD, so we just have to move forward in the VOD. I don't know. I mean, again, it's just come down to Northern Shield. Maybe the lack of experience is sort of showing here, but they have done a lot better when compared to Cafe. It really seemed like on Cafe, as we were mentioning, it came down to just Shinigami being able to play with a lot of pace and being able to force Northern Shield into some very uncomfortable positions. And, Northern Shield, now that they're on the attack, they've been able to do the same thing. And it's come down to, clutch plays from Twist and whatnot to really, bring Shinigami to this lead. What we saw that 4K before we had the recoast. And, Northern Shield is faring a lot better here on Villa so far.
They are, but I am anticipating them to fare even better in the second part of this game, or should I say post-rehost, because of the fact that they haven't even gotten on to their defense rounds yet, and they've already won a round going into round 4, so gotta give it to them, but... man. Teaching, not with the angles again. I mean, this guy is getting really crafty and has been a thorn in the side of Northern Shield's entry. I mean, you look at it, Mac, not even necessarily an entry player, right? I mean, this person, it has a lot of utility, so lots and lots of frag grenades, just overall not supposed to be going down at the beginning of the round. Same thing for Lion. You want to be able to utilize those Lion charges, and unfortunate as it is, once again it happens that Lion is the first player down. Fortunately, Creepery or R6 Dick has not been able to do a whole lot of playing so far. But, oh my god.
Raymond. I mean...
Raymond.
Yeah, like you were going to say, Raymond. I know, Raymond goes
Raymond.
absolutely insane, finds his 2, but... they're going to have to find 3 more if they want to end up shutting out this round. This would be a really, really bad throw for Shinigami if they are to lose this round, especially with Cryptics here just kind of lurking on the flank, trying to catch out one of these members from Northern Shield. Will he find it? That is the question. He's just sitting on red. He's going to wait for Raymond to eventually try and push through, but it seems like he's going to rotate over towards this kitchen door side, and I have a feeling we're going to see the execute here real soon, but it's becoming very scary as Northern Shield. Cam, he's certainly shown that he's able to get these kills, and he's watching over that angle ever so intently. The round is being absolutely slow right now. Raymond will eventually get felled from Cam. Like I said, it's going to be up to Aggro to find this clutch. Unfortunately, can't deal with the pulse on the other side of that rotate, and Shinigami will win their second round in a row.
Kenji, just coming out quicker on the draw there, it seems, against the AK-12, out of all things. And I mean, even if Kenji wasn't able to win out that gunfight, you had a player right behind the heels of the, I think it was Aggro, was it? With the AK-12 player. And, of course, that gunfight most likely would not have went their way, so you can assume safely that that round was won by Shinigami, no matter how that gunfight went between the Pulse and the Ace. So, 3-1 scoreline. What are we thinking? What are we thinking about redoing this rotation now?
I mean, so for Shinigami, it's really just business as usual. Maybe you need to clean up a couple things on that trophy defense so that Twist doesn't have to get a quad feed for you. And obviously, Northern Shield were able to take 1 round. But nonetheless, I think it's, like I said, it's just Shinigami sticking to their old tricks. There really is no need to try and reinvent the wheel. Because, Northern Shield have shown maybe a little bit of lack of coordination on this attack. And, I have to say, it's coming down to, just whenever Northern Shield are able to define the pace in their own way and win these opening engagements up against the aggressive play of Shinigami, then, they find some success in the round. But when they lose to players early, as we saw in that last round, well, as much as they can make their way into the site to try and put up a fight, it really is just asking a lot out of a little bit of members of the team.
We're going to be having the same exact mirror placements interestingly enough. Mira being played once again. Mira's a really interesting operator because there are a lot of ways to utilize those Miras. And even a lot more ways to get kills, it appears, as a 5-3 situation already occurs. Very nice openers. Unfortunately, Creepery once again going down side by side with Raymond. That's going to be the openers for you. Not too surprising given the current climate that we see in this match. Northern Shield already down 2 players.
I think one of the issues for Northern Shield is that they're maybe trying to just make too many things happen very quickly. Trying to take into the building with 2 minutes in. Yes, you need to be effective with your time, but Shinigami are going to sit in these spots until you force them out of them. So, I mean, Shinigami are very aware of the sort of timings in the rounds, but Northern Shield have done pretty well so far of digging themselves out of the man disadvantaged positions. But again, a lot of these entry problems could be solved by maybe putting a drone out and maybe doing your due diligence. We've been seeing maybe some too quick of an entry from the Northern Shield side, and it's costing them members. So I'm looking for them to maybe polish that moving forward. But nonetheless, good job on Shinigami for taking advantage.
I mean, time and time again, they've had the ability to take advantage of it, and they've done so absolutely beautifully. So, really got to give it up to them, but Smoke Canister is going to be going on out in an attempt to prevent Ace from getting into that vault area, but the beauty of a ranged utility is that it is ranged. You don't even have to walk into the Smoke Canister to get those Selma charges down. Dia, though, picking off one. That's going to be Teejing going off the board. Smoke, a player that you do not want to lose, is unfortunately going to get killed. You still got Mira, Aruni, and Jaeger left up on the board. 3 very powerful operators in their own right. P10 Roni, as we see on the screen right now, is an absolute stunner of a gun, and having a player in that powerful position down the classical hallway is also an extremely good way to lead the last 15 seconds of the round. Execution, though, is going to be going on in as players look towards Study to shut down the Jaeger. Jaeger not quite shut down yet as Cryptix looks to find one, but the diffuser is going to be going down. Cryptix getting the player of the diffuser aggro, but getting refragged therein after. Dia picking up one, that's the L85 showing off for Kenji, and now it is a 1-on-2. Cam trying to defuse, potentially ninja-wise, but no, it will not happen, unfortunately, and Mac, both Mac and Dia, looking to pick up the kill. It ends up being Mac with the G36.
That was a good job from Northern Shield to come back in the later stages of that round and know that, hey, we have the behind vault door plant open. Let's just go for it. Let's go for this default plant, and, whatever happens, happens. And they, notably from Shinigami too, late in that round, they only had the Nitro Cell from the Mira to try and deal with that sort of push. And unfortunately, one Nitro Cell isn't going to get the job done in terms of plant denial because you can just send so many bodies through and, potentially take advantage of just getting the kill onto the Mirror themselves. But nonetheless, good take from Northern Shield despite being at a man disadvantage throughout the whole round. That kill onto Teejing was huge, again, due to the lack of plant denial. But they're going to go for a different bomb site. They're going to head on over to they're going to head down the hall to the trophy and statuary bomb site. And Jenna, let's see if Shinigami can reestablish their momentum here, or if Northern Shield are going to be able to escape a defensive-sided map with a 3-3 scoreline.
A really fun statistic is that every round that Northern Shield has won, that being 2 rounds, Creepery was the first player off the board. So each round that they won, they had a significant player disadvantage going into the beginning of the round. So you have to really think about what that means, right? Northern Shield, still, even with a player being down, that being, funny enough, Creepery, they have been able to secure those rounds. They've been able to push through, fight their battles, and win out the round. So you have to really think, maybe it's Lion. Maybe it's just Lion that needs to die for them to lose, or for them to win these rounds.
I mean, maybe it is a question of whether or not how effective the Lion sort of Vector 308 is in Creepery's hands. But he decided, hey, he's going to go Demon Road for this final attacking round, as they're going. Well, Creeper is going to bring that switch onto the board, and the kills are already flying out here from Northern Shield as they do find the kill onto Twist. And well, we've seen Twist frag potential late in rounds before, and unfortunately, that will not ring true. So, I mean, Mac is going to try and get this information out, but I have to say, maybe they're overlapping on drones a little bit here as they force the peek out from the Aruni of Kenji, but will not re-swing the sort of hologram that Mac has brought to the board. Instead, they're trying to slow this round down a little bit, and I think that is the right call here so far, as they need to reestablish themselves and get the information before they eventually try to land and execute here, Jenna.
I mean, trying to establish more control is definitely going to be a huge effort for Northern Shields. Creepery finds one. That's Kenji going down for you. So already a 5-on-3. Creepery going in hot and heavy, being dealt a lot of damage in the process. But T-Jing, though, going to be downed. And is this going to be a Twitch drone kill? It will not be. Twitch drone gets shut down the second before it actually takes the life of T-Jing. So T-Jing looking to be revived by another defense player, but players getting extremely discontent with T-Jing being down. T-Jing getting dealt up. Creepery down in the process. You got Mac picking off one. That's Cryptix going down. It's a 3-on-2 now. T-Jing gets a headshot, but Creepery finds Cam in the process. 1-on-3, 1-on-2. MP5K showing off his skill, but T-Jing still having not too much health on the board against two players who do have full health. Diffuser is in hands of Dia. Plant beginning to go down, so this is going to have to be a retake scenario. T-Jing slowly creeping up on the players of Northern Shield. Looks to be a plant hold scenario. He's going to have to find a player with the L85. Position revealed. Dia getting shot through the wall. A little bit of penetration damage, but it does not hold. SMG-11 coming through strong and heavy to find the remaining kill. Unfortunately, short-range engagements are SMG-11's specialty, and the low health T-Jing could not hold up to the challenge.
I mean, that SMG-11 does absolute bits there at close range. Obviously, the L85, well, it fires a little bit slower, but when you know someone is going to be walking through a door, as T-Jing was going to there really wasn't any other play unless you wanted to get picked off by someone playing inside of. I think they repositioned someone towards Master. So I think T-Jing, considering the situation, did the most he can. But again, when you are met with that SMG-11 at close range, well, the fire rate plus the fire rate, despite all of the recoil, if you're that close, the recoil is not going to matter. And Northern Shield taking full advantage here, and they're looking much more confident here in this map when compared to Cafe here, Jenna.
They definitely are, and the scoreline shows it, right? 3-3 heading on into their defense rounds, which Villa contestedly is a defense-sided map. I feel like there's a lot stronger of a point to be made that Villa can be an attack-sided map. But in my opinion, I like to say that Villa is more of a defense-sided map. Mm-hmm. I'd like to say that it's, a 4-2 scoreline that you want to hit by the time you hit your attack rounds, per usual. And, unfortunately, Shinigami did not hit that mark. But they still do have their attack rounds to go through, and as we saw on Cafe, they shine through those. So they very well could prove to have another polarizing attack side.
I don't know if you caught it throughout the course of that, over the course of the prep phase, but interestingly enough, Northern Shield deciding to split the. I'm losing the sort of train of thought here, but they decided to split the quad wall inside of sight, and I think that's a very interesting play. They're going to have someone sitting behind that deployable shield, but Mac here, well, I mean, that's a subject for later discussion here, is Mac has made his way to the top of Astro, and they're trying to set up that flank watch with with the air jabs from Cam, but overall, I think Shinigami are playing this a little bit slowly here. They've only made so many inlands into the sort of site here, and really with not much information to play off of, as Aggro will peek out, eventually catches the Yana clone, as well as Teejing before Kenji eventually finds a headshot onto Creepery. And I mean, overall, very effective trade. You eliminate the frag grenades from, Teejing is actually playing on the Zofia. What am I looking at? But you eliminate so much utility there from the attacking side of Shinigami. But it seems like they're starting to aggress here onto the site, Jenna, and they could potentially put the Northern Shield defenders in some very compromising positions here.
I'm kind of wondering where the remaining player of Shinigami is. I know there's 3 players around this site. I think the third one is up on the 90 window, if I'm correct. So this is a full coverage situation. It looks to be that Shinigami is trying to close in on the remaining defenders and force those rotations right into the hands of that window player that's going to be extremely powerful up on the 90 side. Cryptics, though, finding a kill with the frag grenade, absolutely huge for shutting down those effective rotations. Already a 4v1 with the ARX dealing its damage. Mac trying to get the pistol whip, but does not come out successful. L85 really showing the damage that it can do. Beautiful with the black ice as well.
Oh, the Black Ice is just absolutely the best gun skin of the game. But nonetheless, I mean,
sure,
it was a very great take from Shinigami, just being able to collapse onto Northern Shield from multiple angles. We saw the push into 90. We saw the gunfire coming in from the study balcony as well, and it really left all of the Northern Shield defenders with nowhere to run. Once they lost the Aruni of Raymond on the back line, it really just kind of spelt the sort of doom for that Northern Shield defense. But I mean, with a little bit of adjusting, right, not losing the Brown Stairs so easily to a sort of take there is definitely something that Northern Shield can adjust, and I'm sure they're going to be looking to do moving forward. It's just Shinigami, again, with the experience, they know exactly what they need to get done during the round in order to make things work. And yeah, like I said, Northern Shield, they know that round could have potentially worked out for them. It seems like they're going to go for the same strategy again. I don't blame them. It really just came down to just losing some unfortunate gunfights in that last round.
Persistence seems to be Northern Shield's middle name, because they like to go sites 2 times, even if they lose it the first time. It was a pretty big theme on Cafe, even though they did not have as much success the first or the second time. But I like it. I do, because it shows that they're extremely confident on these sites, and it shows that they have a chance, right? They're thinking to themselves, if we clean this up just a little bit, we have a chance at winning out this round, and thus going on to the next site. So they're not giving up on a site the second that they lose it, like Shinigami had. Rather, they're giving it some thought. They're trying to make moves to win out this site that they had been on, and force these rotations of sites to be a little bit more streamlined.
It's going to be a heavy sort of commitment to the north side from Northern Shield as well. They're going to expend some of their members trying to play over towards this bedroom side, and it's really going to be coming down to the drone work of Shinigami to sort of flush that out. But someone who does get flushed is Kenji on that sledge. Again, we were talking a lot about how the utility has gotten underutilized from this attacking side, especially frag grenades, and well, they've lost yet another pair of them, as Kenji will be the opening pick here. And Mac, oh my god, oh, so aggressive, but unfortunately cannot find the kill onto the Nomad, shooting of the bodies as well. Meanwhile, there's some gunfights going on inside. Keep your focus there, Cam, and potentially a little bit of hubris could come out as well. Cryptics, he has made his way to the top of Brown Stairs, but Northern Shield still in very good position to try and repel this sort of attack coming from the study side. And it all is going to start from Creepery, who is in a very aggressive position, will land some shots onto Twist, but nonetheless not able to land them out. Dia here holding inside of the vault is going to have to support Creepery in this gunfight here. Otherwise, they could potentially lose the round, and support him he does. Cryptics will fall. Twist as well, and Raymond will find the eventual final kill. And oh man, great take from great coverage there from Northern Shield.
For sure. And I mean, all at once, the round collapses for Shinigami. It does. And unfortunate as it is, I feel like they were stalling a little bit too much. They were taking a little bit too much time, and Northern Shield took advantage of that, right? They began to get extremely aggressive. And don't get me wrong, Shinigami, they were doing pretty good up until that stall there. I feel like after the ace got into position to start opening up the walls, Northern Shield decided to get a little bit more aggressive, move their players around, and it really threw Shinigami off. It did. So they started losing health. They started stalling out. They didn't know what to do. They started to drone, try to get a little bit more information on the site, but it kind of all just fell apart afterwards because Northern Shield took the advantage. They said, hey, we're going to start peeking these things and we are going to win these gunfights because we need this. And by God, they wanted it more because all at once you see 3 kills going off on the board and it ends up being a 3v0. So, right. Northern Shield, man, picking up that round. Round 8 goes to them in a 4-4 scoreline.
I mean, a fact that's caught up to me as well as I looked up at the scoreline once again. We're sitting at 4-4 right now. I've kind of been just like kind of washing out the sort of thoughts in my head for whatever reason. Like it hasn't like rung on me to try and check the scoreboard. Yeah, we're sitting at a tie game right now, and that's certainly taking me by surprise considering how map 1 went. But I mean, Northern Shield, this is their map pick, and they're proving to be able to keep up with these ex-CACL players. And I mean, it's a very good effort from most of these players. And your analysis of last round was absolutely spot on. Just a little bit of time wasting brought out from Northern Shield and able to force Shinigami into some stalls. It eventually, spelled the end for Shinigami there. And Northern Shield, they're looking pretty confident on this defense. Oh, man. Mac is going to be felled, though, and that's your Mozzie off the board. Hopefully those pests have been established already, but someone else with the P10 Roni will eventually find a kill onto Cryptix. Meanwhile, Aggro has fallen as well. That's Kenji again with that Sledge L85 putting in the work, and it's going to come down to these anchors, but unfortunately Raymond has already taken a little bit of damage, so let's see if he's going to make his way back into sight. It seems like he has. He's trying to cover from the back of Master, and oh man, if he got a kill onto the Master balcony, that's really good on him because it forces Shinigami take to be a little bit one-sided here, Jenna.
It definitely does, right? They're going to have to be coming all from one side, and that definitely limits the possibilities of Shinigami. Northern Shield is going to know exactly what's happening and when, and they can prepare for that just as they did last round. So, kind of taking a little bit of an advantage in that scenario. You're going to want to try to get as much of an advantage when you're at a 4-3. But Kenji looking at this Astro window, not quite sure if it's a ping situation or not, or what if it was lagging or something, but it seems to be back on track now, and a little bit of a pre-fire going down, but Dia, oh my word, doing a 180 and shutting down Kenji. What happened?
Oh man, well, what happened to Twist as well, right? Like, Twist is going to be felled as well, and they're down to 2 members, and they're trying to pull off this execute, but it's looking tough here for the Shinigami side. They're trying to force anything to happen, even firing breaching charges at some of these members to try and, deal with the utility that they have to hide behind, but Creepery's gun is ringing true. That Alda with those 80 bullets doing the absolute most here, but Cam is able to force the 1v2, but Creepery there with the Alda, not even having to reload probably, and man, good job from Northern Shield there, and they're going to take their first map, or they're going to take their first lead right now, Jenna.
They are going to take their first lead. That's crazy to think about. They're officially on the upswing here, but that was a shutout defense. I really have to give it to Northern Shield. I felt like they won a lot of their ones, and they were able to prevent a lot of moves made from Shinigami before they were able to mask that momentum that they do to get their executes. And that's what you have to do as Northern Shield. You have to get those quick picks, or those early picks, or those stunning picks that prevent the foundation of Shinigami to work at its fullest, to prevent them from forming all together and getting that precise execute that they want out of the round. So Northern Shield playing on that aggressive capability that they know they have, understanding that they can win these gunfights and they do have the gun skill to do so, is such a powerful mindset to have. And so far, it's been working out for them, right? They're officially having their lead, it's round 10, and now they're onto their tertiary rotation. So, hoorah.
I mean, hoorah, absolutely right. They have the nitro cells necessary. Oh, actually, they're only carrying one. That's a very interesting sort of thing to watch out for in this round here. Usually, you would bring a bunch of nitro cells to try and assist your members playing upstairs in their endeavors to protect against a master-sided push. Because once you get vertical control of the dining room, it's basically over at that point, barring you are able to win out against a top-down sort of play. But I mean, the chances of that happening are really low, as the attackers or whoever holds the vertical position usually has the advantage. But we're seeing a lot of aggression coming out from Northern Shield, so maybe instead of natural cells, they're opting to do this with bodies, and unfortunately, well, one of those bodies are going to be fallen as aggro, on that Frost is going to be felled with Cryptics in a very early entry here, pushing behind Kenji, and it's going to come down to Creepery to try and hold down this trophy position. He's going to swing out into the hallway, but not finding the timing. Twist and Teasing are going to fall, though. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Raymond there to clean him up, and he's holding inside of this closet with all of his life, and well, he could potentially find another gunfight as well. Not being able to rotate out, but Creeper with the coverage will find Cryptics and Shinigami. Where did all that experience go? You're now down to a 2v4, and it's barely a minute and a half into the round. Creepery with another one as well. My goodness, Jenna.
Wow. You know, I was gonna criticize Northern Shield for deciding to play their lives upstairs, because those rotations could have been made and it could have been played for the retake. But seeing them play these engagements so confidently really gives me hope in Northern Shield. It really does. I thought the round would go completely different, but man, it's already a 4v1. Looks to be a little bit more of a tactical timeout situation. I'm guessing, you know, kind of just playing your own level, playing at your own pace, being the last player up on the board, up against 4. Maybe trying to get a few picks here and there, saving the yeah.
You could potentially find one. I mean, it's a very tough situation to win, being in a 1v4. You're asking a lot out of Cam, and the disrespect coming out from the Nitro Cell. The LOLs come out in chat, and I mean, Cam, you know, he shot bodies. He kind of deserves that nasty little Nitro Cell. But nonetheless, Northern Shield have put themselves on match point. And really, it's come down to just so much more confidence being on their own map pick. I think on the first map where they were playing on their defensive side, you know, I think they were playing a little bit scared. But they're dealing very well with the Shinigami team, and you know, with the strength of Northern Shield, obviously this is a pre-recorded VOD and we're casting over this retroactively, but they're sitting towards the top of the league right now. They're playing very well, and I think this was that sort of click point where, you know, Northern Shield finally figured out, hey, we're some gunners. Let's go out and gun some other teams. And Dia saying his energy drink kicked in. I think that's sort of valid there, Jenna.
Need to locate and defuse as many
Yeah,
bombs as
Dia is valid. Dia is valid, officially. Going 8-2. Really being a stunner for the team of Northern Shield. Nitro Cell go burr.
It does.
Truly.
back on the Aviator Games defense here from Northern Shield, and it actually seems like we're seeing a different setup there from this Northern Shield side. They were going for that sort of split quad wall in previous rounds. They're throwing that to the wayside and saying, hey, this is looking like a little bit more of a default hold with Aggro and Raymond playing inside towards the master bedroom here, and yeah, it's looking like a little bit more of a default strategy, and I'm waiting to see whether or not this works out for them, because, you know, with the experience of this teams, you've seen this probably a million times. It's really just going to come down to whether or not Northern Shield can play their positions. How effectively can they play in their spots?
Well, we're going to be seeing Kenji taking a little bit of a look-see in the bathroom. Definitely looking to be a little bit of a master clear with a split take capability. Twist trying to head on over to the study side of things, opening up the main study wall. Understanding here that there is no Mira is going to be a key piece in this attack, because now you can place that ace over by the study side and really start to get things moving over there. But meanwhile, we're going to be seeing a little bit of aggression from the side of Northern Shield. The attackers sitting on over top floor master side. Vigil attempting to get a little bit of damage dealt to the attackers. Aggro in the same position. Just playing really, really aggressive.
Oh.
Spot unknown and takes advantage of it entirely. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. Teaching still getting heavy damage blown. G36 coming. Full power.
Oh no.
Picking up one. Twist getting another. So a 3-on-2. Tables have been turned. You would believe that that aggro kill would have really set things off, but it didn't. It's already a 2v2. Chaos ensuing.
No way.
2v1. Teaching still up on the board, but a 1v1 is Twist. Picks up a headshot onto Creepery in a last second stand for his life, reloading the AK-12 and finding the headshot.
Aw, creep, buddy.
Creep,
So, I mean, creep. Creep, you're going to be wishing you had that one back. You could have closed out the match right then and there. Oh, but it was insane plays from Aggro there to get the frag going for the Northern Shield side, but Shinigami just powering back. I mean, this game, when it comes down to it, is a first-person shooter, and Shinigami definitely shot back. But Northern Shield, I mean, the confidence, like you've been saying, Jenna, was ever so evident in that last sort of round there. They were just peaking absolutely everything, and if it weren't for Creepery just dropping that final kill, again, I hate to bring so much attention to it, but Northern Shield were in perfect position to win that round out, and they're confident in this hold. They are going to go back to this Aviator Games bomb site, and I gotta say, just a couple of things bounce a different way, you know, kind of like basketball. If one thing changes, then kind of like the butterfly effect, you could have won that round there. But nonetheless, we have to play another round. And, you know, Northern Shield, hopefully they don't collapse here as a result of that last round. Hopefully they're going to be able to close this one out. And, you know, Northern Shield, again, this has been commendable from them for this map too.
Yeah, it's definitely a 180 from the 7-1 scoreline that we saw. So you really have to imagine that it is map-based, because Villa, I mean, it's a really strong map for Northern Shield. Of course, Shinigami is still putting up a very heavy opposition, but it's definitely not like that 7-1 that we saw on Cafe. Things are going so much differently, and I'm happy to see it. I really am happy to see it. But Northern Shield still playing pretty aggressive by the Masters side, but they're going to be getting a little bit more passive, allowing for the retake. But Kenji sitting on the bottom floor, heading up through blue stairs, is going to do their best not to allow it to happen. Cam coming in with the Nomad air jabs as well. That's that second line of flank denial. So Northern Shield very well may not get that chance to play for the retake. But of course, only time will tell.
2 minutes remaining, and Shinigami have made their way through this master bedroom side. But like you said, Northern Shield are playing for the sort of retake potential, trying to keep all their members alive. But Dia was potentially in a very compromising position there. Unfortunately, there was no one to really push behind that drone. But Tijing could potentially have caught him out as well. But no one there to answer. Dia has made his way back into the site. No, he has not. He's trying to swing out, but will not find anything. And, well, he's going to get his kneecaps sort of ate up as a result, but nonetheless still very much alive. And with most of his HP, as a matter of fact, Kenji will be felled. Dia will eventually swing out and get the confirmation. And Dia doing a very good job at just playing his life there. I'm not exactly sure how he was able to make his way back out, but nonetheless, Dia proving that he is a force to be reckoned with here inside of Canadian Contenders. Meanwhile, Mac is just sitting on those brown stairs, just, lying there, chilling, maybe having a little beverage there while he waits for someone to push inside of his angle. But he's eventually going to have to spring into action, as it seems like the members of Shinigami are going to be pushing in towards this 90 hallway, and revealing their position is Cryptix, but he will eventually lose that fight onto Creeper, that Vector doing so much damage in close range, and Tijing will eventually find Raymond. Creeper is going to have to win this gunfight onto Twist there, but unfortunately does not. Cam with another kill as well, but aggro, he's been so big throughout this matchup, and he has a lot of experience to show for it, but nonetheless will lose that fight. Mac, he's going to have to win another 1v1, and who else but Cam, who was shooting bodies earlier. Get some revenge for your teammates, my friend. And the Legion Needle doing a little bit of damage. Time slowly ticking away. He just has to play for time here, knowing that the diffuser is down, and Cam will want to push it out, but Mac is going to sprint away for his life. Northern Shield playing the situation perfectly, and they are going to take our map too.
Ring around the rosy. That's what you call it. There's no OT. There's no OT,
Uzu. They want it out.
Sorry.
We love you, Uzu. We love you. Thank you so much.
We love you. Well, that was interesting. 2 maps. We obviously saw what was previous knowledge, so of course you guys knew that it was going to be 7-1, and you guys did know that it was going to be 5-7, as we did. But I still think that it was awesome to analyze, right? Especially that Villa match where it was a lot more evened out, more balanced, round for round, shot for shot type of situation. And Northern Shield, they really came back and proved their worth. I feel like Creepery, especially really highlighted the type of inconsistency to consistency that we saw from Northern Shield in that Villa match. Mm-hmm. They had a lot of moments, right? They had a lot of mistakes and a lot of moments, especially at beginning of the rounds. There wasn't a lot of times that Creepery could get the chance to play, for example, with Lion, such and such, but then towards the end, really proving their worth with the defense, right? I mean, Northern Shield, you could tell, are a lot more confident on their defense, and they really pulled through in those final rounds. I believe they only conceded, if I am correct, they only conceded in the last 3 or 4 rounds 1 round. So
yeah, they were just saying on their defense, and maybe it comes down to just Shinigami not being confident as much on Villa. But I was expecting that from Creeper, to be completely honest with you, with that Alda. I remember this clip that he posted on Quip. Man, English has been hard for me today, Jenna. It's, I felt nervous. It was good to have you back on the desk, but, I was freaking out a little bit. But nonetheless, I mean, Creeper posted that one clip of him just absolutely gunning the members of Dark Zero with an Alda. So, I was expecting this. He knows that he has power with that Maestro. But, I mean, Jenna, that's the end of our day. Welcome back to the desk. It's so good to have you. But for Jenna Santos, our producer has been excess. We had our VOD coming from Uzu as well. We'd like to thank you all for tuning into Canadian Contenders League, and thank you guys so much. Have a good night.